Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 543 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We'd like to welcome everybody back on this beautiful Thursday morning. How are you today, Michael?
I'm doing great. Doing great, man.
Hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there.
All right,
I think
good.
that might be the best way to describe me right now. I'm just hanging in there.
All right, it's May. We're getting there. A third of the year is over. So as we do this a couple more times, it'll be Christmas again. How you
Oof.
doing this morning, Derpy?
I'm doing fantastic. Um, Better than the Pirates though.
Oh,
This
well,
guy, this guy, I tell you.
This guy, yeah.
it's 162, Derpy.
162. I'm just gonna keep going with it. 162.
Unfortunately, that's the cold hard truth. This is going to go on for 162 total games on the season. I don't think anybody's happy right now. We're through. We just completed month one of the Pittsburgh Pirates Major League Baseball schedule. It's been a disaster. Uh, I'm not even going to start with the Pirates, guys. The only thing I'm going to say before we do get started, they started 9-2. The Pirates I'm talking about, and since then they've been 5-16. So
Oof.
that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on there. I can't even
It's all
begin.
Mike booing.
What's up?
It's all because Mike booed.
It
It
is
is.
because Mike booed. Everything went downhill the day that Mike endorsed the booing, and I got to say that I'm not too happy with this
I
because
take full and personal responsibility.
they were the best team in the league at that point. Mike endorses the booing. Now they're the worst team in the league. I mean, with the exception like the White Sox and one other team, they're literally the third worst team in the league. But we're gonna get back to them in just a moment. I don't even want to talk about the Pirates. They make me sick. But I do want to talk about something important before we get started. Here in Beaver County, just outside of the Pittsburgh city limits, there's Mike. There was a third woman found dead. You know how they're finding them like in these most random places,
Yeah.
like the lady in Beaver Falls. She was found down behind Geneva's running track. Then just last week, this woman in Aliquippa was found in these woods that's been missing. And then just yesterday, I was reading a report that there was a woman found in the housing down here at the end of the
Yeah.
town where we're at, and they found this lady in a storage bin dead.
What?
Just about yeah. And well, here's the thing.
What?
I'm reading this article that this person had wrote about it, saying why aren't these cases getting enough attention? Why aren't the media talking about them? And she went on to say that they contacted one of the main news channels in Pittsburgh, and they said we already covered it. And they were like, no, you really didn't. You might have talked about it for 30 seconds, but three women coming up dead
Yeah.
in a period of time in a concentrated area. I mean, that's could be somewhat of a story. And she just went on to talk about that for a bit, and she tagged like a lot of different news sources and places that may be inclined to talk about something like this. But I do want to say, man, that's it's crazy. I mean, I don't think it's any kind of serial killer or anything like this. Which I gotta say, I thought in my life I would see more serial killers just because of a lot of things that I
Yeah.
saw when I was a kid from
Yeah.
the 70s and 60s and whatnot. But yeah, these women, the first one again, it was in Beaver Falls, just beginning of the year, I believe, and they found that woman down there, and also again, Aliquippa just last week they found a woman
That
in the
is
woods,
insane.
and just most recently again, this woman was shoved in a storage container down here in the housing at the end of town. So again, keep your eyes open. I don't know, somebody knows something, you know.
Yeah, someone has to know what's going on.
It's a terrible thing, and again, we have never, we've seen shooting deaths and unfortunate things go on
Yeah.
around here. However, that's kind of like I said, it's a kind of a isolated thing to itself when women come up missing and
Yeah,
they
it's
find
normally like if it feels like like you said, kind of like a serial killer type thing.
right.
Seems to be like their MO is like we're going to pick women, and
Well, I'm not going out anymore. I mean, come on.
yeah, I don't leave the house except to go to work and
Ugh.
go to the
That's all
store
I
and
need.
go to my other house. Yeah, that's just
That's all I
well,
need with
we're too sexy. We're two sexy women right
yeah,
here.
we're two sexy bitches. I mean, we'll get
Yeah,
swiped up, we'll get snatched
hell
up
yeah,
fast.
hell yeah.
Um, guys, I
Oh
do want to
jeez.
say if you notice on the chat board today, we do have we do have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to call in. Mike, is the link ain't on there?
Meeting ID and the passcode is there.
How do they?
Hold on.
What's
Yeah,
that?
my bad. Yeah. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
Mike?
having to type in text two
Okay,
different
get
things.
on,
Yeah.
explain it. Just
Yep.
yeah.
No.
So what Mike's trying to do, he's trying to get set up. So if you would like to call in, all you have to do is hit the link that Mike is now putting on. And then once you hit that link, you should be able to come right in. However, if it tells you you need a meeting ID or a passcode, which sometimes it does, I don't know why, but he does also have that provided there. So again, on the board today, we're trying a couple different things new. Again, always trying to find different ways to reach out to people. You can always come on the board, hit the link, and as soon as you hit it, keep your camera off when you come in. Other than that, you may, if you do or you don't need the information about the meeting ID and the passcode, it is there if you do need it. So we're going to check it out. We're going to mess around with this and revise and see what works. But good morning, Brian. How you doing today, sir? I like the call-in thing. I look forward to hearing from your audience. I do too. We were experimenting a couple days ago, Brian, and I don't know if if you've seen or know Ron on the board. He comes on often. He is in the Panhandle of Florida. He got a chance to call in the other day. It was a lot of fun getting to talk to him. We never talked to him before. And then there's people all over the place. There's a Steeler freak from Las Vegas. I'd love to hear from him. He's in Japan. P's in Japan.
P's in Japan, but P's also a little faded, as he said.
Yeah, P said yesterday he's usually a little faded whenever we're on, and that don't surprise me because this time of day over there, it's probably
it's the end of the day for him. I mean,
yeah. But you guys are always certainly welcome to give us a ring. Can't wait to hear from you guys. And again, like I said the other day, Ron was a lot of fun. But nonetheless, we do have to continue, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me get into this, guys. This here is a couple dates. They're expecting, well, not a couple dates, but they're expecting a release of the Steelers schedule in its entirety real soon. In 2022, it came out on May 12th. In 2023, it came out on May 11th. So I would be expecting to see the Steelers schedule in its entirety come out real soon. That'll be something to keep our eye out for. So I look for that in the next week or two.
Yeah.
But Mike, here is the off-season top power rankings. I'm only going to go to where the Steelers are. I'm not going to go beyond that, but let's start at number one, guys. The off-season rankings in the NFL look like this. Good morning, Ralph on the board. Always great to hear from you, sir. Number one, Kansas City. Kansas City is the off-season, way too early power rankings team. Number one, they are the top team in the league.
Makes sense.
Number two, San Francisco, the 49ers, a rematch of the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl of four or so years ago. Number two, San Fran, one, Kansas City, two, the Niners. Number three in the offseason, way too early power rankings, Mike, the Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
The Detroit Lions make their way into the top three. I really like that team.
I do too.
We've been talking about them for quite some time and the rebuilding and the building, I guess you could say.
It's been like, 4 or 5 years we've been talking about them.
Yeah.
Feels like.
Number four, the fourth top team in the way too early offseason power rankings, the Baltimore Ravens, guys. The Baltimore Ravens.
So far as everyone who was in the conference championship games. That's what it sounds like.
It was?
Yeah. The Super Bowl and the conference champion losers.
Number five, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles at this point in the offseason, way too early power rankings. They have Philadelphia as number five. So your top five teams at this moment are the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, the Detroit Lions, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. Number six, what's that?
I was going to say the same Philadelphia Eagles that collapsed down the stretch that won one out of their last 6 games.
Hey, they had a nice draft and they got Kenny Pickett, so you just showed there. Number six, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, who did nothing this offseason.
Yeah.
They lose Joe Mixon. They lose, a couple of
Tyler
their
Boyd,
possibly more.
Yeah, Trey Hendricks and T. Higgins went out of there. That's a healthy community down there.
So that's the sixth best team in the way too early offseason power rankings, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it's just the fact that Joe Burrow is back. I got to be honest with you.
I think so
that's
too. Yeah.
Number
Back and
7.
healthy.
What, Derby?
What website did you get this from?
I don't know. Don't leave me alone.
Don't ask questions, Derby. We don't ask questions here. We just answer. Ryan asks the questions. We answer. That's the dynamic.
Right. That's right, Derby. How long? It must be your first day.
Derby's first day here, apparently.
Number 7 on the way too early offseason power rankings, guys. Number 7 is the Houston Texans. Houston Texans.
Yeah, I can see that. That young team, and if CJ Stroud progresses the way you would think he would go into year 1 to year 2, yeah. Ooh, that team's going to be scary good.
Number 8 in the way too early offseason power rankings. The Green Bay Packers, guys. The Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Jordan Love leads his team. They get a nice big win in the first round last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
A lot of people see good things coming from Green Bay.
And they're good, really good secondary out there too. Jordan Love, my God, like the first half of the year, everyone thought Jordan Love, ha ha ha, and he just got better and better and better as the season went along. Once again, the Green Bay Packers in a quarterback.
Absolutely, they do it right.
Yep.
There's one team of 32 that does it right. It's them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And number 9, the number 9 team in the off-season, way too early power rankings is, guys, they moved up from 12 from before the draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers cracked into the top 10. The top 10.
You love to see it.
You love to see it in the off-season, way too early power rankings, guys. Kansas City, San Francisco, Detroit, Baltimore, Philly, Cincy, Houston, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, guys. They do have Pittsburgh as the 9th best team at this moment. And I think we're only going to get better. You add a receiver and, maybe a few other pieces. I think that this team is going to look pretty damn good this year. And that puts, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 AFC teams ahead of us. Only the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Houston Texans are ahead of the Steelers in this particular way too early off-season power rankings list. So,
you know what? As a fan of the black and gold, I will take it. I will take 9th overall.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, I was definitely, I seen that and I said, you know what, we've got to talk about that, whether, that holds up or not. But as I said, it should improve. In theory, you think it would. Again, you go get your number 2. We don't have a number 2 receiver, and we fell in the 9 spot. So that's pretty impressive again. And like I said, you find a couple parts and pieces. You throw a Marcus Golden the backup. You're outside. You put you maybe bring in a Cam Sutton on a cheap.
Stephon Gilmore's still out there.
He's
still playing at a high level, even though he's getting older. He's still playing at a high level. Is he
more of a bang for your buck than Cam Sutton would be?
I think so. I think so.
I think we could get Cam Sutton for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, pennies on the dollar. But what kind of Cam Sutton are you getting? Is he going to be in the right frame of mind after everything he went through? You would hope. But like Stephon Gilmore, if you can get him on a cheap contract like you did Pat Pete last year, I would take Stephon Gilmore over Cam Sutton.
Yeah. I mean, he is good old. I don't know.
Get them both. Fuck it. Omar Khan's a genius. He hasn't done us wrong yet. So if you can get both, I would be all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that worries about me, this team, really is D-line depth. We really have to hope Hogan Joby and Cam Hayward can stay healthy this year. But 9th, I'll take it as a fan. I like seeing my team ranked that high.
That's going to be. I guarantee we're going after a defensive lineman next year in the draft. Because come on, Cam Hayward, one more injury, and he's done. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, he might be done after this year, after his contract.
So, a couple of revenge games coming up. Of course, is said in the next week or so. Week to 2 weeks, we're going to be seeing the Steelers' schedule come out in its entirety. A couple of the revenge games will be the Ravens games because you have Patrick Queen and that whole situation.
And also, that we've owned them.
And now that we got a good team, we'll end up losing to them. Last year, we will, we could barely put one foot in front of the other, and we managed to beat them.
And that's how it usually goes with us.
Number two, the Denver Broncos, of course, because
Yep.
of
Oh yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Thank you for paying his salary.
Absolutely. You're paying us to help. You're paying him
That's
to beat you.
just
Yeah.
unreal.
I love it.
With Bo Nix as your quarterback.
With Bo Nix as your quarterback.
Oh,
Come on.
Knicks.
What was Bo Nix throw for 400 yards against us?
Yeah. Don't say that shit. Don't speak that into
I
existence.
know, right?
And
I'm sorry.
also,
It's the pessimistic fan in me.
guys, we have Robert Spillane in the Raiders game. So
Elaine.
yeah, we may need him, Mike. We
Like
get we
I
get
would.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson both in one game this year.
No, we got the new upgraded, younger, faster, missing ACL version of
I hope you're
Spillane.
right, man.
We got Peyton Wilson, baby.
Yeah.
It's the he just has to stick Derrick Henry one time, and he's already a legend.
Yeah. Brian says the Pirates are 90 in the Major League Baseball, just behind the Somerset Patriots, Yankees AA affiliate. I don't doubt that, Brian.
They might be lower. They might be dropping in the rankings as we speak.
I'm really pushing it. I'm really pushing it back to get them to the very end of the show. Um, Also, a couple big things going on today. We do have the deadline for the Steelers to pick up
Yes.
Najee Harris's fifth-year option. If they do pick it up, he'll be getting paid what, $6.97 million through the 25 season, Mike.
Yeah, 6.9 guaranteed for that year.
I think he's probably in his first 3 years rushing wise, he's probably the best running back we've ever drafted, Mike. If you take his yards and compare him to everybody else,
yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. I mean, that's what you fight for when you're a running back is yardage.
Yeah, but like I get like what he did, 3,000 yards back to back to back,
which nobody ever did in Pittsburgh history. But
yeah. But Franco was more dynamic in the offenses that he played in. Lev Bell was. Najee, he just kind of like you see flashes. Don't get me wrong. I like Najee Harris as a running back because you see those flashes of this is why we draft him. But then other times you're like, why? I put Jalen Warren in there. So I would be okay if they give him the option, and I would be okay if they don't, and see how he does this year, and they can negotiate a longer term contract if they want to. I'm okay either way with this how it goes. Like arguments I've seen on both sides make sense to me because one side, hey, yeah, he's done stuff like Lev Bell and Franco haven't done. But on the other hand, it's like you're going to guarantee a contract where technically running backs in this league, you can go out and find one in free agency, get one cheaper, get one in the draft cheaper. I find valid.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, you know,
like what's the offense he's had around him really in those 3 years he's been here?
Right, which hasn't been a good offense and not a good line. Where Franco had a Super Bowl line and Le'Veon had a pretty good line, and in all fairness, Le'Veon never won anything. So, this may be one of the best running backs that we've ever drafted. A running back's a very important position, and I would not object to giving him that. I think that I would love to keep Najee Harris around. I haven't seen much that I don't like. And again, I can't wait to see him run behind a competent line, Mike.
Yeah, me too. Like one of my biggest gripes with Najee was he was always getting hit in the backfield. So he just wanted to get bigger and bigger and bulkier and bulkier. And now this year he's like, you know what? I'm gonna slim down. I'm gonna tone down. And I saw some video and pictures of him. He actually looks slimmer and toner and looks like he would be more explosive coming out of the backfield. And I hope that's the case. And he can be here for another 4 to 5 years after. Because if he can get that explosiveness down, he can still bowl people over even if he drops 20 pounds. That dude is just strong to begin with.
Can we appreciate the fact that he's doing this every offseason, trying to
find
a way to get better?
Year, I appreciate what he was doing. Like I didn't agree with what he was doing, but I appreciated that. Hey, that's what he thought he needed to do. Other people thought otherwise, but he went out and wanted to get better. You can't fault someone for that.
No, absolutely not.
So I come down either way on the Najee debate. If we give him the contract, cool. If not, cool, because you can always sign him next year. Or if he has a monster year, franchise tag him.
Yeah. So as I said, the schedule, Mike, it will be coming out soon. Of course, today is the Fifth-year option day for Najee. We knew this was coming. Mike, so here's another couple interesting things about this schedule. The Pittsburgh Steelers at this moment have Mike, not not one of, they have the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
There's 31 other teams. Not one team has a stronger schedule than the Pittsburgh Steelers. This series is going to be interesting, to say the least. And here are some of the, according to one source, this is what your divisions and your teams are going to play out like when the season's over by record. In the AFC North, guys, they have the Ravens finishing 12-5, finishing in the division. The Bengals finishing 11-6. The Browns 10-7, and the Steelers 9-8.
Mike Tomlin's going to get you 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. After that, it's on the roster and the team. So as a baseline, but there's no way we backslide a win.
There's no way.
Like Baltimore is the only team you can say really improved more than we did, or it's similar to we did. The other two teams didn't.
In the AFC East, Mike, they're saying the Jets win that division with an 11-6 record. Dolphins come in a close second with a 10-7. Buffalo drops to third place in that division with a 9-8 record. And the Patriots will finish 4-13.
Yeah, with the amount of people Buffalo had to cut, trade just to get cap compliant. Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. They lost a lot of talent. I'm not saying their window slammed shut, but it's becoming harder to keep that window open. The Jets, though, I don't know. How good's Aaron Rodgers going to be after missing a year? How mobile is he going to be on that Achilles?
Yeah. You know what? With them guys, sometimes it's the smartest guy wins. Like Tom Brady, he wasn't the strongest, the fastest, didn't have the biggest arm, but he's a smart guy. He's like Tom Brady in a way, in that sense, and that's what scares you about a guy like him. He has it above the neck.
Yep. It's kind of like when Ben's elbow went away. He played on moxie and guile this past.
Yeah, you still win years. Because they're
they have it up here.
AFC South, Mike, looks like this: the Houston Texans 11-6, the Colts 9-8, the Jaguars 8-9, and the Titans 7-10. I see the Jaguars doing a little bit better.
Yeah, I see the Jaguars and Colts flip-flop.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I like Anthony Richardson. I think he can develop into a good player, but I think he's another one of those guys. He got hurt last year. Let him sit behind a veteran for one more year, grow and learn. You see his freak athlete. He was throwing the ball pretty well till he got hurt, but he's that guy that's going to run out there. He's just going to run recklessly, and he's going to have a short career, I feel. But I put Jacksonville above.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. In the West, Kansas City. And then this is the division that we play.
Yeah.
Kansas City 12-5. Everybody else under 500. The Chargers 8-9. The Raiders 7-10. The Broncos 5-12. So just like like when we got that NFC South or whatever it was, and you get one of these divisions where they're just having a down year. I like that.
Yeah.
Being as it may that we have that the NFC East, which isn't chock full of teams, but there are 2 really good teams in that division. I think that we're going to face this coming season. In the NFC East, you have the Philadelphia Eagles, which are 11-6. Dallas Cowboys 10-7. Those are going to be the 2 tough games.
Yeah.
And if you let them, the 6-11 Washington Commanders and the 5-12 New York Giants could hang in there, I guess, and make something happen, which is what we do. We tend to let people hang around. So,
things are like those teams are bad, but they have pockets on there of this is a good player, or this is a good position group to where it can help keep a game tight. And that's why I hate playing those teams right there. I'd rather play the Chiefs or the Cowboys, the Eagles, because you know what you have to prepare against. These other teams, like I said, they have those little pockets of the one player that can, on a bad team, find a way to eke out a victory against you.
In the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, they have going 11-6, winning that division. Green Bay 10-7. Probably come down to the last game of the year with them 2 teams.
Yeah, probably.
Chicago 8-9. The much improved Bears coming in at 3rd place, 8-9. And the Vikings coming in at 7-10.
I think there's nothing I can really dispute on that. That's kind of how I would see it going down in that order.
Again, in the way too early NFL record predictions. This is the NFC West. I'm sorry. The NFC. No, this is the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons, with the quarterback so plenty, they have finishing at 10-7. Tampa Bay, 9-8. New Orleans, 7-10. And the Carolina Panthers, 4-13, Mike.
Yeah. I can see the Buccaneers finding a way to eke out.
I'm not so sold on this Atlanta Falcon team. I got to tell you.
No. Like I said, they got talent, but they needed defensive help, and they drafted quarterback of the future. That Kirk Cousins' contract's 4 years, but first 2 is guaranteed. If you cut him after that second year and Penix pans out, great pick. If not, terrible pick. And you're in a win now mode. You should have drafted someone to win now with. I don't get it.
Finally, the NFC West, Mike, they have the top team in the whole league. They're giving that to the San Francisco 49ers with 13-4 record.
Revenge tour.
The Rams, 11-6. Seattle, 7-10. And finally, the Arizona Cardinals, 6-11, which makes the New England Patriots the worst team in this year's draft. I don't know what their trade situation is, but they'll be more than likely to get one of the top draft picks next year if they haven't traded anything away in the past.
I think they're still
recent
locked
history.
In. Yeah. I can see San Fran having a bit of a fall off. We saw this last year. The Eagles coming, they lost the Super Bowl the year before. They started off strong, and they just petered out through the season. I can see something happening like that to the 49ers. You come so close. A lot of those guys were on that other team that lost the Super Bowl before, so that beats you down.
They're hungry. I don't know. If things are going well for them, they might be able to run it back and get another shot because as I said, 2 things happen. You either, when you get better every year like this, what they're doing, and it's very similar to what the Steelers did in the 90s, you tend to get a little bit better every year until you get to where you want to get, or you get to that point as we did in 1995, 1996. We lost against the Cowboys, and that put us back, and you kind of have to a certain point, then you kind of have to start over again. So I wonder if the San Francisco 49ers, if they're going to ride on that hunger, or they're going to kind of bounce back or get shoved back a little bit because they took that L in the Super Bowl. To me, I really don't see any reason for them to take a big drop off. They still have a great team, Mike. You lose players here and there, you gain a few players here and there, but this team, I don't want them to win. I don't want them to get their 6th Super Bowl.
No. I would like to see some of those guys get Super Bowls, but not that team.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen with Ayuk if he's not traded because he really doesn't want to be there? Will he cause himself a distraction to get himself?
If he's a pro, he'll play football like he should.
You would hope so, yeah. Or where he pulled the Odell up in when he was with the Browns, got his way cut to go to the Rams to win the Super Bowl. But you would hope he would be a pro and go and do the thing and go win it.
A couple of things here, Mike. Let me tell you this first. I'm sure, and you guys might have seen it. Nick Herbig and Roman Wilson were high school teammates.
No, I did not see that.
That's really cool.
I've seen that.
2 guys awesome. That you absolutely love moving forward with Herbig, of course, and Roman Wilson, high school teammates. But here's some other interesting stories, Mike, over the past couple of days. These stories may or may not be from the past couple of days, but they're things that have been being talked about. This one here. Antonio Brown says of Hines Ward. Yeah, he can't fuck with me like that. He can't even wear my jockstrap. Hines Ward is my stepson. He's a baby wipe. I'm constipated and I'm still shitting on him. And I had to deal with more adversity and more criticism than him.
Well, you caused the own adversity and criticism.
Yeah.
Hines Ward is a multiple Super Bowl winner and Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
You were the more talented player. You were the better receiver. You probably are one of the greatest receivers of all time. But Hines Ward, like Ryan said, is a professional.
Right.
He held it together.
That should be the requirement. You should have to be a professional to get put into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it's
Like,
professional football. If
yeah,
you don't act like a professional, why
yeah,
get rewarded?
yeah. Oh, AB. A great quote. I fucking laughed my ass off, but none of it's true.
Right.
Yeah. Like, gun to my head, though, if you can give me prime AB with his head on straight, prime Hines Ward, I'll take prime AB. But overall career, give me Hines Ward because I know he's going to be there game in, game out, not doing anything stupid off the field.
Right. And and his his big plays are subtle. That it's like people come in and are like, oh yeah, you got to prepare for AB. You know what? People don't necessarily say that about Hines Ward. Then he ends up having great
Yeah,
games and a great
yeah,
career because you look at him differently
yeah,
and that really played to his advantage.
yeah. It did. Yeah. But my God, AB watching him run around was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, no two ways about it, man. He was just a fast little shit, that
He
just was
was,
so happened to be
yeah,
able to catch a football.
he was just
He
so
was just
damn good.
a fast little
Fucking
fucker.
couldn't get his head on right. I hate guys like that. Come on, dude, just get your head on right.
Just give me one more moment. I should be able to find
Yeah,
this last story I'm
you're
looking
good.
for,
You're good.
which I think if I
let
could
me
find it, I think you're going to be quite amazed.
let me cough my lungs up on air.
Yeah,
Good for
please.
the ratings.
I don't know. I don't even know if I could find it.
Oh God, come on now. I put my faith in you.
I wish I knew where it was
I
at.
expect this out of Derpy.
Mm, I don't know where
There
it's
we go.
at.
I was getting ready to put up the
That got
Derpy.
that got me. That got me.
I figured it would get you.
Okay, you know what? I don't have it here. I don't think. Let me see.
I don't know
Okay,
if
I
AB went into the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, but I did know he went into the cold tank with no shoes on and got frostbite. Okay, Brian or Ryan. Yeah, Brian. That's big brain IQ by AB right there. Cold room with no shoes and get frostbite.
all right. I got it. I didn't actually find it, but I know enough to talk about it.
Okay.
Did you guys see the story where Brian Murphy from Texas, the defensive lineman, came in to visit the Steelers, and
Yeah.
I did
they
not.
made him stand with his nose in his nose in the corner? He said it was such a weird thing. He said I didn't experience anything like this anywhere else. I went to visit the Steelers in the pre-draft visits. He said they made me do a couple things. They made me kind of squat down. They made me do something else, and then they made me turn around and face the wall for a period of time. And if you can find a story, please tell me, and
Oh
so we can
my
talk more
God.
about it.
I saw like a headline come up. I tried to click on it into my phone and the article wouldn't load
Yeah,
properly.
that's what it was.
So
He was so freaked out because it was
yeah,
such a bizarre thing. Again, he's like, yeah, that's fine. The squatting, they're checking your
yeah,
flexibility, this and that.
yeah.
But they literally made him stand there with his face against the wall. What is that?
I have no idea. Isn't this the guy that Zach Frazier whooped his ass all game long?
Probably. I don't
They
know. Out of
probably wanted to see
Texas.
if he would stand up for himself, you know. But I
See,
don't know. I would have if I was
let's
him,
tell him to put his
I would
nose
have
against the
walked out.
wall, see if he stands up for himself.
I would have walked out of that interview. Like I love the Steelers, but yeah, I would be like, oh, that's no for me, dog.
I'm glad I did.
This is the
Yeah.
job for me. I'm out.
Glad we didn't draft him. That'd be
Take
embarrassing.
him
I mean,
off
come on.
my board. They probably like, oh, he just stood there. Take him off the board.
Let's see how long he actually stands there.
Right?
This is a test. Derpy,
I don't get it.
Derpy, remember when we made you stand with your nose against the wall?
Yes.
Like the sadness in his voice, remembering that traumatic.
Yeah, I know. As Mike wore the assless chaps, and you remember the whole ritual. But anyway,
I still have those chaps, by the way.
I know.
I hate you guys sometimes.
They're now bedazzled, by the way.
Yeah, bedazzled. But there you go, guys. The deadline for the Najee Harris 5th-year option is today. $6.97 million 2025 season is what's at stake. I like it. I like the guy. I don't have anything against him. Again, you need a solid back to have a solid team, and I like him. Of course, we'll see what Jalen Warren does coming down the road here. He hasn't done anything to make me think otherwise. But right now, we have two really good running backs. And as Mike says, one way or the other, I'll be fine. But I'm pulling for him. So,
did you real quick another Steelers story? Did you see this one, right? About Justin Fields.
Yeah, please tell me. I keep seeing that at the bottom of your screen. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah. So apparently, like Jalen Warren in interview said our special teams coach has talked about maybe using Justin Fields on kick returns in the new format.
Wouldn't
Now
that be
everyone's
something?
now everyone's running with it as the Steelers are going to use Justin Fields as a kick returner. Knowing like Danny Smith, it might have been like one of those, just funny comments. Hey, this guy can run. He can dance throughout the pocket. Let's try him out down here. And then, Jalen repeats the story, and everyone's taking it as the Steelers are having internal discussions of using Justin Fields as a kick returner. It's like, this sounds like an offhanded comment that people are taking to
right.
I highly doubt we're going to see
yeah.
our second string quarterback returning kicks. However, it is a funny dynamic. It's a funny way to look at it.
Yeah.
But I seen some video of him throwing the ball around the other day. His thighs are bigger than most linebackers. The guy's a big guy, of course, and everybody knows that he is more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson in the same period of time. I think that he would do just fine, but don't put my quarterback in every returning kicks.
No, like I would only do that if it's like the last game of the year, a must win. There's a kickoff coming up. You put him and Cordella Patterson out there and see what happens.
You got such nice returners at this point.
I swear, like you can tell like people who have never been in like a management situation. And the replies, why would they say this? Like when you're in meetings, you're just saying stuff, and you get to a point where you're so tired, you say something off the wall to, so everyone can get a laugh, and that's probably what happened here. And now people are just running with it, like, oh, the Steelers have lost their minds. They've lost the Steeler way.
Speaking of losing my mind, I'm getting ready to turn over the Pirates here. We're gonna go up on the plank. We're gonna walk the plank and go over to the Pirates. But I do want to say, Mike, real quick, in that top 9 of the way too early offseason power rankings, Mike, 3 of those teams of the top 9 were AFC North teams. I just did want to throw that out there before we move on.
Best division in football.
Guys, let's talk about the Buccos.
No.
All right, the Pirates.
I like how Derpy just opens up his mic and doesn't say a thing.
The Pirates are
motherfucker.
14-18 after starting 9-2. They went 5-16 since that point.
Yeah.
They just got swept by some call the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
The A's beat the Pirates in game 3 of 3 yesterday, 4-0. They got swept by the Oakland A's in Oakland. They stranded over a dozen runners. This team can't do anything right. And that's the part that gets me, how they can't do anything right, Mike.
Yeah.
And the base running, hitting. You know what they're doing really well, though? They're drawing walks.
We got that going for us, which is nice.
If that's your goal this season, they're accomplishing that. They are the leaders in the majors, I believe, with drawing walks. The Pirates, Quinn Priester started yesterday, threw for 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Chapman and Bednar also got to pitch as the other 2 pitchers in the game. Chapman threw 1 inning and had 2 strikeouts. Bednar threw 1 inning, gave up a hit, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. The Pirates' only hits they had 4 hits: Reynolds, Cruz, Tellez, and Triolo. Their next series, they have today off. They come home for the weekend to play the Rockies. The game 1 of 3 starts at 6:40 tomorrow. And then after the Rockies, they are on it's a combined total of 9-game homestand. And coming to town, 9 games at home. They have the Angels after the Rockies, and then they have the Cubs. So it ain't going to get any easier for these Pirates. I don't know. No. You look at a team like the Rockies and you think to yourself, oh, there's a little bit of relief. But again, we just got swept by the A's. So that speaks volumes on what's going on with this team. G1 Bay down in Double-A, though. Yesterday, he has 4 hits, one of them a double, 2 scored runs, 1 RBI. And Paul Skeens in the minors also, guys. And all the, let me think, 23 innings he pitched. This is his numbers in 23 innings. I can't imagine we could use him.
No.
He has a 0.39 ERA, 41 strikeouts. He's gave up 9 hits and 6 walks.
Yeah.
In that period of time, 23 innings, 41 strikeouts.
Yeah. His last outing, 6 innings pitched, no runs, maybe a hit. He's phenomenal. And like Brian said on the board, our starting pitching's pretty damn good. You add him, these games we might have a chance.
One thing that you notice about these games, Mike, they're just not scoring any runs.
Yeah, the offense has just petered out.
They're not scoring any freaking runs.
No, they were.
You want me to blow your mind? You want me to blow your mind right now about
blow my mind? Blow my mind.
This is these players' batting averages over the last 15 games.
Yep.
Started red hot this year. Oliveras.
Yeah.
0.087 in the last 15 games. Bart started shot out of a cannon when he came here. Bart, last 15 games, he's batting 136. Mike, your guy, Rowdy Tellez, batting 147 in the last 15 games. Jared Triolo, a sure thing. A bat that was 156 in the last 15 games. Jack Suwinski, your power hitter, your center fielder, 158. Michael Taylor brought in to help the field out, 161. Henry Davis, 167. And Andrew McCutchen in that period of time, guys, 175. That's a lot of players batting in the 100s over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, all below the Mendoza line. So this is terrible. And then, right before you brought this up, I was just checking out their on-season batting averages. They're not good.
No.
We have Akila Williams, he's batting 297, but he's only had 37 at-bats. So let's get Connor Joe, 283. Brian Hayes,
I got to be honest, Connor Joe's been the best part on this baseball team.
Yeah, big stacks. 248. O'Neal Cruz, 239. These are guys that we were counting on to have damn good offensive seasons. And
if you've seen O'Neal Cruz, the guy looks so there's such a disconnect between I don't understand. He stinks at bat. I mean, he can't even hit the ball. The guy's striking out every time he's at the plate. He's making more more mistakes. It's shortstop. They got to figure something out because this got real bad real fast. And I kind of have a hunch of what might have happened. I mean, in the spring training, you're facing fastballs. There's a process. Guys go in, they start throwing fastballs, then they start throwing their junk. It's a process to keep their arms preserved. And they crushed preseason hit pitching. They crushed it. They were the best team in the league as far as knocking the ball out of the park. Then early comes along, and you're not really into your junk yet. Pitchers aren't crisp yet, and they were able to win some games then. But once pitching gets better around the league, as it does throughout the season, you started to see the Pirates decline. And that was the same thing as last year. I'm starting to think that that's what it is. This team, it's like the guy from Major League. They couldn't hit a curveball. They couldn't. What was his name? Serrano.
Pedro Serrano, baby. Pedro Serrano.
They can hit fastballs all day. But you know what? The reality is when you hit the majors, that's not what it is anymore.
Joe Boo, he needs to, they need Joe Boo out there. So they can hit some curveballs. It's just ridiculous, man. They can't hit for shit. And Connor Joe is your best hitter right now. Come on now. He's a great. You got to
say the guy is really performing. I got to say
he is performing better than expectations. Better than he has every right to be. To be honest, for the role that he should be in, and for people like Big Stacks to be down that low, Brian Hayes, O'Neal Cruz. I'm not talking batting average. Look at their advanced analytics too. OBS, slugging percentage, all this shit is just terrible right now.
Yeah.
And I know the fans online, they want Andy Haynes fired. Okay. But is that really going to improve the hitting? If there's an organizational philosophy of their approach to hitting, because they're just going to get another batting coach that's going to have
all these players are so bad.
Yeah. It can't, it can't make them worse. So why not, try and get a new hitting coach? But if there's an organizational philosophy on the way they approach at bats, how is it going to change?
It's impossible.
We lead the league in strikeouts looking.
Mike, that's all they do is strike out. If you watch it, you lose your mind. If you watch the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow or last week or next week, Mike, it is so frustrating because all they do is strike it. I remember the old cartoons when the Bugs Bunny threw the ball and it was spin and they would go 1, 2, 3, you're out. 1, 2, 3, you're out. And it would go through 3 batters in a row.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It literally looks like that, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's like opposing teams could literally throw like an 80-mile-an-hour curveball right down the middle, and our guys will just sit there and, well, we were told to just take this pitch, so we're going to take it. Boom, strike three. Like, I don't know. How hard is it to see the ball hit the ball? You have done it your entire career. It is. I
Must
don't.
be damn hard to hit them damn breaking balls if you think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You watch them on TV, you're like, holy shit.
Because these guys that do this has done this every day since Little League.
But
to just swing like they've never even seen a pitch before at these breaking balls. I mean, geez, oh man.
No, I know I couldn't do it, but I'm not being paid to do it.
You're right.
Like, and this is something all of them have done. They're not like, Ted Williams type hitters, but they're competent major league hitters who all of a sudden can't. They don't resemble competent major leaguers.
What a what a hard thing to do must be to hit a baseball.
Yeah.
They say that's one of the hardest things to do, in pro sports, would be to hit a baseball, which, you know what? I don't doubt that. Mike, here is what the division looks like at the moment. And guess what the Pirates did? I gotta tell you, Mike, the Pirates achieved something. They accomplished something that I think is a very impressive thing to accomplish.
Oh God.
Impressive
good, impressive bad.
They managed to go below the St. Louis Cardinals in the division. The Pirates are officially in last place, guys, as we speak. They did it. They pulled it off. They started the month in first place as one of the best two teams in the league. They finished the month as one of the worst three teams in the league. They are sitting in dead last place at the moment. Mike, here is what your NL Central looks like at the moment. Your first place Milwaukee Brewers, of course, they ain't giving up any space to the Chicago Cubs, who are 5 games, Mike, or 5. I'm sorry, a half game. I'm reading it wrong. A half game out of first place. Milwaukee still sitting in that first place, and they again only a half game over the Cubs, but seems like Milwaukee sits in first place a lot in this division.
Yeah.
For a team that never wins the World Series, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they dominate this division, and like our preseason predictions aren't looking too good, boys.
No, they're terrible. So Milwaukee's in first place.
Yeah, because
I was wrong.
Yeah, I thought like our pitching would be the weak link until we got Skeens up, and that'd be the strong suit.
Yeah.
Who would have thought our pitching would be the strong point?
All right, so Milwaukee's at top. Chicago's a half game out of first place. The Cincinnati Reds 3.5 games out of first. The St. Louis Cardinals 5.5 games out of first place. And bringing up the rear, no surprise.
Nope.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, they are, Mike, 6 games out.
Yeah. And like I was talking to at work, the one guy was like, yeah, you have to wait at least a month or two before you buy into the Pirates. I'm like, yeah, no, I should have learned my lesson last year. This year, I thought I was being a little safe, but I bought in.
What I think is most interesting, though, Mike, I think is the most fascinating part of that, is they started the month 9-2, and we're in first place, and we're the top team in the league.
Yeah, now we're 6 out.
That's the Pittsburgh Pirates that we've all grown to love.
Yep.
But nonetheless, you have May the 4th be with you. I think they're having bobblehead day down there this weekend and a couple other things. So, you know what? People are going to still get down to the stadium because they have amazing giveaway nights. So,
hey, Zambelli Fireworks is always a sellout. May the 4th is always a sellout. Bobblehead night's always a sellout. They know how to market the stadium and the experience to get people there. Putting a competent team on the field and a competent front office and management
they're not so good at.
Not so much.
Mike, couple things here. WNBA kicks off this month. There was a little time to rest for the number 1 player overall in the country coming out of college. Caitlin Clark, of course, getting drafted by the Indiana Fever. WNBA starts this month. Mike, it's going to be exciting. Also, this weekend, you have the Pittsburgh Riverhounds playing Miami FC. That game's Saturday at 7 o'clock. The DC Divas are coming to town to face the 1-0 Pittsburgh Passion. Passion started off their season last week with an impressive 36-7 win over the Alabama Fire. They come home. They're going to be playing at Pine Richland High School Stadium. If you want to go check them out, the DC Divas will be coming to town, Mike.
Do the DC Divas have a beer snake?
I doubt it.
Because if they did, I might have to root for them.
And finally, the UFL, Mike, week 6 Week 6 is up this week. We'll go over all the games in more detail tomorrow. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website now?
The2dumyinzers.com. The number 2 DUMYINZERS.com, just like it's spelled right up there. Over there, we got Ryan and I's social media links. We got our merch store, and we got the blog. And a new one will be updated. What's today? Thursday, tomorrow. So one will be up on Friday.
All right. Brian on the board says the best thing about the Pirates is Hannah Mears added to the TV broadcast. I can't disagree with that at all. Man, she's hot, huh? And you can always tell when guys that she interviews in the game is in relationships because they don't make eye contact with her. Have you ever noticed that? She's interviewing the guys at the end of the game. There's guys that get all smiley and they talk to her, and then there's other guys they just look straight ahead and they just don't laugh. They don't, and then they're out.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Yeah. Again, quick, everybody. Yeah.
I was just saying the WNBA. Did you see any of the they had like practice footage of Caitlin Clark, and she's just shooting threes from downtown. Her teammates are fucking loving it.
They were doing a contest. We got one from the half court, and I think she was knocking them out.
Yeah, the one teammate was like, "No, this is where she normally shoots from. She has to shoot 10 feet back."
So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun, yeah. Hey, at least her teammates love her.
Yeah.
The other veterans in the league might not, but
I think the people in Indiana are gonna love her too.
I think so too. Yeah.
Again, everybody, that's www.the2dumyinzers.com. www.the2dumyinzers.com. Guys, this is a Pittsburgh sports trivia day. Pittsburgh sports means it could be anything, right? It could be Pitt, it could be Pirates, it could be Steelers, it could be Penguins, it could be Maulers, it could be
Duquesne.
It could be anything. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, guys. So this is the trivia question of the day. I need you to do your best. To tell me who the last team was that the Penguins, the Steelers, and the Pirates beat in the playoffs to advance in the playoffs. They all been in the playoffs. They all won a playoff game or /series, and they all moved on. I need to know if you could tell me, and how many you could tell me of the 3 major sports teams we have here, who the teams were that our teams beat their last playoff win that allowed them to advance in the playoffs. So think that over for a moment, guys. We'll get back to that. We're live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed the show, we put the brand new fresh show that we do live every day up over on Spotify in podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. Maybe you missed a show. Maybe you're at the gym. Maybe you're just out doing things and you want to put your earbuds in. You could always check out the brand new show we do every single day live. You can catch it on in podcast at Spotify at 8 o'clock. Check it out. All right, guys. Here's your question of the day. I need to know the teams that fell victim to our 3 professional sports teams here in Pittsburgh last. In other words, I need to know the last team that the Penguins beat to advance in the playoffs. I need to know the team the Steelers beat to advance in the playoffs. And finally, the team that the Pirates beat to advance. Guys, Mike, I'm going to start with you because I know I started with Derpy the past couple of times. Yeah. Mike, you want to give it a shot?
Sure. Let's go the Reds.
The Reds for the Pirates.
Yep.
Locking you in.
Locking that in. For the Penguins, let's go. Let's go Capitals.
Capitals locking you in on Washington.
And for Steelers, my God. Let's go the Bengals.
In the Bengals. So, Mike.
I'm confident on one.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I wildly missed on the other 2.
So what's going on, guys? I'm asking the guys who the last teams were that fell victim to our Pittsburgh pro sports teams, our 3 major sports teams in the playoffs. Mike says the Pirates have beat the Reds last. The Penguins beat Washington last, and the Steelers beat the Bengals last. Those would have been the last teams that our teams beat in the playoffs. Derpy, I'm going to come to you. What do you think, man?
I'm gonna go with the Reds.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Capitals,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with the Bills.
All right. So, Derpy, you have the last team that the Pirates beat in the playoffs to advance was the Cincinnati Reds. The team that the Penguins beat last to advance was the Washington Capitals. Excuse me. And finally, in the NFL, you're saying the last team that the Steelers beat to advance was the Bills. Is this correct?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to lock Derpy into place. Guys, here we go. Brian on the board says Reds, Flyers, and Bengals. Reds, Flyers, and Bengals. Guys, the question of the day, I need to know who the last team fell victim to our three professional sports teams that are in Pittsburgh: the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins. I'm sorry. The last team that those three teams beat in the playoffs. I know it's been quite some time for all these teams. So let's see how well we do to remember. Mike picked the Reds, the Capitals, and the Bengals. Derpy picked the Reds, the Capitals, and the Bills. Guys, it was in fact the Reds. The Pirates beat the Reds in the play-in game that allowed them to advance to the St. Louis series, in which they were up 2-0 and lost 3-2 in that series against the Cardinals. Next was the Pittsburgh Penguins. The last time that they won a series and was able to move on was against the Philadelphia Flyers, guys. The Philadelphia Flyers in the first round of that season. And finally, guys, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that the Steelers beat last in the playoffs, Mike says the Bengals, Derpy says the Bills. The answer to that question was it was an 18-16 win over the Kansas City Chiefs on January 15th, 15-17, January 15th, 2017. So there you go, Mike. Penguins beat Philadelphia in the first round, 4-2 in 2018. The Steelers beat Kansas City 18-16 on January 15th, 2017. And the Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Reds on October 1st, 2013. Guys, we're due for some playoff wins here in Pittsburgh. Somebody, I don't care who it is, just somebody. Let's get some wins.
Do it, baby. We need playoff victories back in Pittsburgh.
It's
looking like the Pirates aren't going to do it, so maybe.
No, that's sure.
Maybe the Steelers this year. We made it to the playoffs last year. That's been a hurdle. Now the victory. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no faith in the Penguins.
So,
what's going to happen first? One of these teams wins a playoff game, or Derpy changes that battery?
I'm going to say the Pirates will win a World Series before that happens. Mike,
Double A battery, Derpy, down on the dollar store. Dollar stores are everywhere.
Mike, pay attention, focus. The Steelers, their last win, 2017 in the Penguins was in the 2018. My gosh, we're 2020. We're going into 2025, guys.
Like how spoiled?
It's not that it's not that we're not winning championships. We're not even winning playoff games.
Yeah, I know. God, it needs to happen. I need at least a playoff victory, a series victory. I
something to keep me getting up in the morning for crying out loud.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, hey, we made it, we won a game. Okay, you lose in the next round. I can live with that. Not making it one and done or just missing it out by a game.
Mike, I got a little over a minute. Anything left that you want to say before we roll?
Yes, Derpy, dollar stores, Dollar General, Family Dollar, pack of batteries, double A.
You need us to place that phone call to your mom again, Derpy.
They go up in there, man.
You want to go through this again?
Please, just for my sanity.
See, Derpy gets a kick out of this. I think he's ugly because I know
I can Venmo you, Cash App you, whatever. Man.
He knows it rubs you. That's why he's not doing it. I know exactly what he's doing.
Oh, it's killing me. It's gone.
Derpy, anything before we get ready to take off?
Mike, make sure you shine your bald head.
It did a double beep. Did you hear it?
You know what, Derpy? Just for you. Where am I at? Just for you, Derpy. I'm gonna get a little extra shiny before we go off the air here.
Oh, what are you doing?
Look at
There
that.
we go. There we
A
go.
little
You put
lotion in there.
chicken grease on your fucking head, dude.
I need lotion. I was out in the sun. I'm starting to peel.
Also, guys, my thing is this: Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's will begin allowing customers to bet on arcade games, hot shots, basketball, skee ball, and other arcade games at Dave and Buster's. You're going to be able to soon play small wagers on these arcade games at Dave and Buster's, guys. So if that's your thing,
you're going to see grown-ass adults beating up little kids because they missed out on their hot shots parlay.
Hey, yeah, that's right. You got to make it fun for the adults as well.
Oh, you see that little kid shoots it rims out. Adults throwing beer glasses because they dropped $100 that he would make that last bucket.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and coming to hang out with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we wouldn't do it without you. As far as everybody on the board, we want to thank you as well. You guys always keep it interesting. Mike, one more time before we go. Anything before we take off, man?
Oh God, it's just happening on Twitter. Like everyone's blowing this comment out of proportion. Like I said,
which one?
Danny Smith said, "Yeah, we'll have Justin Fields return kicks." Everyone's laughing at it on stage. It's like Jalen, Cam, and someone else, and now everyone's bloating out of proportion. I love the overreactions on Twitter. Love
Derpy, speak now for hold your peace, man.
162.
All right, there you go.
There's the beep.
Did you hear that?
I was waiting for it. I was going to ask, does the fire alarm have anything to say?
There you go. Tomorrow, the Mike versus the fire alarm here at Two Dumb Yinzers. Don't forget to join us
about this thing.
At the same time tomorrow. We're going to do it all over again. Mike from the Two Dumb Yinzer mobile studio for Derpy, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great Thursday. It's going to be nice and hot today, so enjoy yourself. Enjoy the weather, and we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. We'll see you then.